Today I'd like to share another thought, another meditation to jumpstart the conversation at the Lord's Supper. I've entitled this one, The Vineyard. And in the Bible, our text comes from Genesis chapter 9, verses 20 and 21. It reads as follows. Then Noah began to be a man of the soil and planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine and became drunk and uncovered himself inside his tent. After the flood, Noah and his family disembarked and entered a new world. It was a world purged of sin and scrubbed clean, completely clean, by the watery floods and deluge. The curse sentenced at Eden was still in effect, but there was no vestige of the former world. Paradise was no longer there. Eden was gone. That garden, which probably, no doubt, stood throughout those long ages of the pre-flood patriarchs as a sign of what humankind lost, paradise and the tree of life, it had disappeared completely. The wicked footprint also of degenerate man and the Nephilim, it had been erased. The world that then was perished, and any glory of that former age was extinguished by the breakers and the whitecaps of the watery judgment. Everything about the earth had changed. Noah, the preacher of righteousness, by his faith, had condemned that world, and he had become the heir of the new world. And yet, that new world he entered so far, it had no garden, it had no vineyard, it had no paradise. It was a raw world, cleaned and put in order, but yet untamed. It had not been mastered. And so Noah and his sons, and those who would come from him, needed to subdue the new world and master it. Now, why the shipwright Noah chose to plant a vineyard is mere speculation. But perhaps, this is just a thought, but perhaps residing in him was a longing for Eden's garden. He had never been in Eden's garden, but he had seen it from afar. Perhaps he had seen the cherubim who guarded the entrance and the flaming sword that went back and forth. He had longed for that paradise. And just as that old world had a paradise, so too, perhaps he was thinking the new world needed its own Eden, its own paradise. And so Noah began to be a man of the soil, as the text describes. Now, in the scriptures, Noah's actions are never condemned outright. They are simply recorded. The reader is left to make the judgment call. However, there was nothing inherently wrong about Noah desiring to subdue the creation. In fact, that was God's command to him. And there was no sin in planting a vineyard or becoming a vintner. Drinking wine was not condemnable. However, possessing a vineyard suggests something, does it not? It suggests desiring a bountiful harvest. No one plants a vineyard in hopes of harvesting a small yield. A vineyard implies a bounty and a fruitfulness. And wine itself was and is a symbol of celebration. The old world had been judged and was gone. The new world had come, and rejoicing was in order. Noah's misstep wasn't that he drank wine, it wasn't that he celebrated, nor was it that he intended his harvest to be plentiful and bountiful and productive. His mistake, I think, was that he seemed to celebrate alone. For whatever reason. And he, with his guard let down, he indulged to excess alone. The Lord's table, the Lord's Supper that we gather to, is not a place for solitariness. It is a table of feasting and of fellowship with others, even feasting abundantly, but not in only excess, right? Nor should we long for the things of the old world, of the old order. New wine needs new wine skins. And it is a table of harvest and plenty, but not to be spent selfishly, as the Corinthians did on themselves, eating their own meals in factions. No. Let our feasting be together, but not a time of mute silence and gluttony and of grudges, but a time of banquet and of sharing, the sharing of thoughts and words and foods, sustenance for the spiritual, while at the same time nourishment for the physical. The dulling intoxication of drunkenness, whether it's physical stupor or spiritual stupor, has no place at the Lord's table, at the table of the new world. I hope this has been an encouraging thought to jumpstart our time of fellowship before the Lord's Supper. And I hope the brothers and sisters in Toyohashi are doing well. And I hope you continue on in the Lord and continue on with these principles and truths that we've discovered from the Scriptures together. Until I see you again and speak with you again, God bless you all. Bye-bye.